breaking news, first weather, CBS 6 News.
You're looking live at Instant Doppler 6 as severe weather whips through the capital region and storm damage reports are coming in now to our newsroom. Good evening, I'm Greg Floyd.
And I'm Liz Bishop. Chief Meteorologist Steve LaPointe said it was coming, and boy, was he right.
We're going to head right over to the Weather Department for the very latest on the storm. Steve?
And it certainly has been very interesting today, partially because of the tremendous temperature difference we've had across the area, with the north staying very cold, but the south staying very warm. And despite that, we've been able to generate a very intense squall line that has produced wind damage across the area. It's been somewhat widespread, at least from the reports that have come in so far. And it looks like the strongest line segment now is east of the Hudson River. So this is rapidly coming into Bennington County, moving through Rensselaer, coming into Columbia County, and will be very shortly be coming into the Berkshires as well. As far as the warnings go, still looking at Saratoga, Schenectady, Albany, Greene, and Ulster, but it looks like because this is moving so quickly, the worst has now jumped east of those counties. Rutland County also under a severe thunderstorm warning. On the leading edge of that line, we're still talking about the potential of 60 to maybe some isolated gusts to 80 miles an hour. Not as great a threat across the north where it's still cold. It's across the south where it's much warmer, where there's a greater threat for that very strong wind to reach the ground. But 40, 50 not out of the question as we move through Bennington County. The Berkshires very warm all day, so a very strong wind threat as this line moves through. And again, it's moving very quickly, very short duration at any one location, and once it's out, it's out. But we'll be talking about strong winds for much of the region overnight tonight and lasting into Saturday. More on that coming up in the next couple of minutes. Greg and Liz.
All right, thank you very much, Steve.
Well, Craig Smith is live outside our studios here in Niskayuna right now. And Craig, what's it like out there?
Hi, Liz. Well, it's calm for the moment, but about 20 minutes ago it was pouring rain here and a little windier as well. But things have calmed down just for the moment, at least at this spot in Niskayuna. Now, one of the most anticipated results of this weather is power outages, and National Grid has certainly been getting ready for that. Their website is actually reporting about 17,000 people without power statewide at the moment, and about 3,000 in the capital region. A few tips that we want to pass along to you that National Grid has supplied on their website. I saw one of them there. In case you lose power, and because of the way the weather is going, Steve LaPointe tells me that it is possible that even later tonight, over the next 18 hours, you could lose power. National Grid is suggesting you disconnect sensitive appliances to avoid a power surge when the electricity comes back on later. Something you want to keep an eye on. Stop talking there just for a second. I don't know if you can hear the thunder. Probably not, but it's a little noisy out here, and also some lightning as well still. National Grid also suggesting that you turn off any appliances that were on when the power went off, but leave on at least one light, and that way you'll know when the power is restored. Pretty good indicator. Once the light comes on, you're good to go again. Keep your refrigerator and freezer doors shut. National Grid reminds us if food will stay 6 to 9 hours in a refrigerator without spoiling, and the frozen foods will keep for at least a day. Also want to let you know about a couple of postponements that are affecting people in the capital region tonight. The annual Ballston Spa Christmas Parade will be held next Friday, the 8th, not tonight. And the Village of Coxsackie tree lighting won't be happening tonight either. That's scheduled to happen tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We're live in Niskayuna. Craig Smith, CBS 6 News.
All
All right, thanks, Craig.
We're going to go right to Steve now. Word of a tornado warning. Is that right, Steve?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Liz. This literally just coming in right now. We have a tornado warning that's in effect for Ulster County. This has been issued until 6:45 this evening. It's for the southern portion of the county. We have a storm alert zoomed in on that area right now, and in fact, it is fairly intense. Again, there's a lot of shear in the atmosphere, a lot of rotation. It doesn't particularly have a classic look to it, but this is definitely the cell we are looking at down in this area. It is rapidly moving up towards the north and east, so cities in the path of this severe thunderstorm and possible tornado include West Shokin by about 6:10, West Hurley, Woodstock, and Kingston by about 6:20, Lake Katrine by 6:25, and Saugerties by 6:30. Again, this is a tornado warning for southern and eastern Ulster counties that will be in effect until 6:45. If you are in the path of this storm up through the Saugerties, Kingston, and West Hurley areas as it very rapidly approaches, it's moving at about 55 to 60 miles an hour. You want to head to a very safe place, and that would be the basement if you have a basement available. If you do not, the lowest floor and the interior portion of the building that you are in. Again, that's a tornado warning for Ulster County. We're going to continue to analyze this and be back in the next couple of minutes with some more information. We'll send it back to Greg and Liz.
All right, Stevie, we'll stay on top of that. Certainly.
Absolutely. Be checking back with them shortly. Our newsroom, by the way, is already getting reports of storm damage, but National Grid is not reporting any outages at this hour. We're told that there are some scattered trees and wires down in Schoharie and Montgomery counties.
Also in Schenectady County and Glenville, we've just gotten word there is a tree down with wires on West Glenville Road. We, of course, will keep you updated on the storm throughout the night.
And as those updates on area closings come into our newsroom, we'll put them on our website, so you can also follow the storm with Instant Doppler 6 by logging on to cbs6albany.com.
There is other news tonight. We'll get to that now. A Wilton man is behind bars accused of sexually abusing an infant. Michelle Marsh has more on the case and tells us why the suspect's family says he's not guilty.
State police say Brian Staunches of Wilton sexually abused a newborn baby just a week after she was born.
The child protective investigator with the state police in Saratoga PD brought her to Glens Falls Hospital, and without commenting specifically, they confirmed our worst suspicions. It was certainly consistent with abuse, certainly consistent with inappropriate contact of any imaginable kind.
Police say the abuse happened here at the Staunches home 2 years ago. DA Murphy says charges were filed last week after the toddler described what happened to her. Gary Tennant, the baby's biological father, tipped off police. Tennant and Sharon Griffin, the baby's mother, broke up after the baby was born. Tennant told police he believed Brian Staunches, Griffin's new boyfriend, was abusing his child. But the suspect's mother, who didn't want to appear on camera, tells us a different story.
I believe Brian didn't do anything. They're saying he raped the baby. He didn't rape the baby.
And you said he's not guilty?
No, he's not guilty. He had her overnight, watching her, and she was crying when he was changing the diaper. So he laid her on his chest, and he sleeps in the nude.
Gloria Staunches says she believes the baby's biological father is trying to harm her son's relationship with Sharon Griffin.
Because people are jealous of him being called daddy.
And who do you think those people are?
The baby's father.
Staunches faces 7 years in prison. In the town of Wilton, Michelle Marsh, CBS 6 News.
Staunches is also being charged with endangering the welfare of a child. The Saratoga County DA says other charges may follow.
Today at a Senate Health Committee hearing, patients, hospitals, and nursing home representatives fired back. For the first time, state lawmakers sat face-to-face with hospital supporters and heard why closing and consolidating some hospitals would be a bad move. Renee Marsh was there.
It was the first chance hospitals and nursing home supporters got to convince members of the Senate Health Committee that closing or consolidating their hospital could be problematic.
Patients formerly served by closed hospitals will need to find new caregivers, forge new relationships, find new medical homes. Healthcare professionals and workers will need to find new jobs.
Mission, sponsorship, holistic care, and ethics. An organization lacking even one would be incompletely Catholic.
Losing a hospital and the religious ramifications of merging the Catholic St. Clair's Hospital with non-Catholic Ellis is why men, women, and children came to the Senate hearing with signs and T-shirts bearing their thoughts they want state senators to know before a decision is made.
They mischaracterized our deficit.
Mischaracterized the deficit.
By millions.
That's a tremendous error there.
That's a tremendous error. And if that error was made in the section of the report that addressed Bellevue's issues, you have to wonder about the rest of the report.
How far are you going to have to drive to save a life? If it's a matter of seconds to be able to save somebody from a heart attack, are you going to have to drive the next county over? That's scary.
The Bellevue is here to stay slogan is comforting for some, but President and CEO Ann Sale couldn't say exactly how she planned to do that.
We're going to find a way to stay. I mean, we are just determined.
The state legislature will vote on whether they agree or disagree with the commission's recommendations. And they'll have to do that by December 31st. If not, the recommendations automatically go into play since Governor Pataki has already given it the green light. Renee Marsh, CBS 6 News.
And Bellevue is holding a candlelight vigil Monday as a show of support. That's from 4:30 to 6 on the front lawn of the hospital.
Let's get right back to our storm coverage. Here's Steve again.
All right, thanks a lot, Greg. We are covering a potential tornado now in southern Ulster County. There's a tornado warning in effect until 6:45. We are tracking this storm now just to the northeast of Kerhonkson. That's where we are detecting some mid-level rotation on the radar. It is rapidly tracking to the northeast at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. So on a bead like that, this storm is going to be heading up in the direction of Kingston and Saugerties with time, and in fact not very much time at all. It looks like that storm will be tracking in that direction very, very quickly. I'm going to run a storm track on it for you and give you a general sense of where it's going. This is the general vicinity of where that storm is, and again, racing to the east-northeast at about 50 or so miles per hour, and there's extremely heavy rainfall in the vicinity of this, which would obscure the tornado, so it's something you won't be able to see, but probably will be able to hear. So areas at most risk would be Rosendale at about 6:15, that's not much time, Marbletown at 6:16, Whiteport at 6:18, the greater Kingston area at 6:24, Lake Katrine at 6:27, Rhinebeck at 6:27, and the Ruby area at 6:28. Again, this is a Doppler indicated tornado within an embedded area of severe thunderstorms rapidly tracking to the northeast through eastern portions of Ulster County. A tornado warning is in effect until 6:45. What you want to do is make sure you are in a very safe place, and that safe place would be the basement of the building that you're in or an interior low floor of the building that you're in. Typically, bathrooms and closets will offer the greatest safety against tornadoes. Again, it's rain wrapped, so it's something you won't be able to see. It's dark out anyways, and it's moving very, very quickly. We also just have a tornado watch that has been issued for Dutchess and Litchfield counties. So as we've been saying, the greatest threat of severe weather in the southern areas where the air is much, much warmer, and we are seeing some of that materializing right now with this potential tornado coming up towards the Kingston area. We will continue to cover this for you and have another update probably just in the next couple of minutes. Greg and Liz.
All right, we'll take a break, be right back.
From Channel 6, we just had a quick question for you, sir.
This sex offender wasn't talking about why he's living right next door to a school. He is allowed to, even though a new law says that school zones are off limits. As a parent, that concerns me, so I went to a local lawmaker to get some answers. Is this new law working?
You deserve answers. Welcome to the holidays, Hewitt Style. Celebrate the latest trends in holiday decorating and timeless classics. Explore a forest of decorated Christmas-themed trees, or choose one of Hewitt's own lifelike 4 to 12-foot artificial trees, all half price every day. Then create your own magic. Discover Hewitt's collections of unique ornaments, garlands, wreaths, and lights. Holiday decorating ideas you won't find anywhere else. Christmas is just better when you shop Hewitt's.
I've started to wonder if there's a Medicare plan out there that's more affordable than my current plan and doesn't limit my choice of doctors.
HealthNet can help. We'll walk you through the HealthNet Color Quiz to help you figure out which one of our simple color-coded plans may fit you best. Our Pearl plans give you the freedom to see any doctor who accepts Medicare at an affordable premium.
I'm a Pearl. What plan are you?
Call HealthNet to find out.
First dates, cocktail parties, weddings, meetings, business trips, second dates. You can wear a suit just about anywhere. Just don't always wear the same one. At Men's Warehouse, you can update your look with 100% wool suits starting at $200. You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Don't miss the most outrageous musical ever, The Producers, the best show on Broadway.
At Proctor's, December 5th to the 10th. Call Proctor's box office for tickets or order online at proctors.org.
The 10th Annual Capitol Holiday Lights. All new light displays, food by celebrity chefs, music groups, clowns, and more. Log on for more info.
And we are back live with continuing severe weather coverage. Let's go to our storm alert system right now, where we are tracking a very intense thunderstorm, potentially producing a tornado. That is down in Ulster County. Let's go to storm alert right now. It's now northeast of Kerhonkson, racing to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. It's the area of purple that'll come into your screen right in there. That's where we feel is the strongest threat, and that's where we're seeing some mid-level rotation. This is racing to the northeast up towards the Kingston and Saugerties areas. Kingston and Saugerties potentially under the gun with tornado winds. If not that, severe thunderstorm straight line winds in association with that storm as it continues to track off towards the north. Now, here are some safety tips for you folks in eastern Ulster County in the path of this Doppler indicated tornado. What you want to do is seek immediate shelter right now in the basement. If you don't have a basement, take cover in an interior bathroom or closet on the lowest floor away from windows. Mobile homes you'd like to evacuate because they typically don't stand up terribly well to very strong winds, and we never recommend using an automobile to try to outrun storms like this. Now, we do just have an update on the radar right now, which is showing where the greatest threat is, and again, it's quickly coming into Kingston, so we'll show you that on Live Instant Doppler 6 and now on Storm Alert. And this is the area that we're watching again, approaching Kingston very, very quickly as this moves up to the north and east. Do want to mention that a severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for Bennington County. That's in effect until 7:15. We'll go back to Live Instant Doppler 6 just to give you a sense of what's happening there. Strong squall line, strong thunderstorm line segment moving through Bennington County right now. Even though it's fairly chilly, we do and have had reports of winds of at least 50 miles an hour getting down to the ground. And notice how intense the line is across portions of Rensselaer and northwestern Columbia County, and that is pressing into Berkshire County, where there is a high threat of severe weather coming up within the next 30 minutes or so. But again, the greatest threat appears to be down here now approaching the Kingston area. That's where we do have the potential, at least, on a Doppler weather radar. Now, we're showing you our weather scan system, and on the weather scan system, we have the wind fields up on the radar, and this is what gives Doppler radar its name. This is what allows us to see what's going on inside the thunderstorm. And just west of Tilson, those areas of red and green indicating winds that are blowing away from and towards the Doppler weather radar, and that's how we pick up where circulation centers are. And this is what we're looking at, again, for potentially seeing a circulation strong enough that could put a tornado down to the ground. That is west-northwest of Tilson. It is heading to the northeast right towards the Kingston area. We'll probably be in the Kingston area within about the next 10 to 12 minutes. That's what we're putting a bead on. So Kingston in the next 10 to 12 minutes, the Saugerties area in the next 15 minutes. At this time, we have no ground spotter confirmation that we actually do have a tornado here, but there certainly is a strong possibility given the atmospheric setup we have. Despite the fact that it's December 1st, the atmospheric setup is there for severe weather and the potential for tornadoes, especially down in this area. So Mike and I are here. We will continue to do some analysis on this and likely be back just within the next couple of minutes with more information. We'll send it to break.
Right now, pay nothing during Raymore and Flanagan's Savings Spectacular Sale. That's no payments, no deposit, no interest for 1 full year with guaranteed delivery in 3 days or less.
Just in time for the holidays.
Whatever your style, find it with savings on bedrooms and dining rooms, plus every living room is on sale for this event.
This is a great time to buy.
This sale is ending soon at Raymore and Flanagan.
For the holidays, two names say it all.
For 34 years, I stood on the sideline, but make no mistake about it, I wasn't just standing on the sideline. It's just like Medicare Complete. They're always there, ready to help. They give me direct access to my doctors. Plus, I get all the benefits of Medicare's prescription drug plan. And I don't pay a penny more than I'm already paying for Medicare. All those years, I made sure I was there for my employers. Now Medicare Complete is there for me.
Call Medicare Complete, a Secure Horizons health plan, at 1-800-586-0774.
Just gives me the feeling like she's not listening to me.
Have you tried not saying every other word?
What?
Remember your ski trip story?
Yeah.
I was going down the hill.
No,
and
come on, that's
and I was
not me.
stuff either happened.
Holy.
Hurt in a car wreck, don't let the insurance companies give you small talk. Call for help from the lawyers who think big. We're Martin, Harding, and Mazzotti. Thinking bigger all the time.
The heavy hitters do it again. Call 1-800-LAW-1010.
Mayfair Jewelers has just purchased $1 million of top-quality diamonds from a major European diamond seller. Incredible savings on expertly cut diamonds, unmatched in quality and cost, with custom settings by Mayfair Jewelers. It's the $1 Million Diamond Sale at Mayfair Jewelers.
For the family of a local soldier killed in Iraq, it was an anniversary mass filled with difficult memories, but also an outpouring of love.
And as Ken Screven tells us, it gave young people a chance to voice their feelings about the war in Iraq.
Ward of Elite was 21 when he was killed in Iraq, exactly 2 years ago, December 1st, 2004. He was crushed when his Humvee overturned several times during a maneuver.
We gather here today also to remember a loved one who sacrificed his life for us.
In Ward of Elite Friday morning at St. Bridget's Catholic Church, where David grew up, a mass was held to celebrate his life and the anniversary of his death. There were family, friends, and people who never even met David, including students who wore his grammar school basketball number to honor him. Also there, Sergeant David Santana of Amsterdam, who was his Iraq roommate and who administered CPR to Fisher after the fatal crash.
Die in my arms. Miss him. Could have been all different. But Lord has ways, and we have to respect them.
For any family who has lost a loved one in Iraq, an anniversary like this one can be very difficult, painful. But David Fisher's mother said she wanted it to be more about how young people are feeling about this war.
Our second grade winner,
Vicki DeMoore, organized an essay contest at St. Bridget's and gave out awards to the best compositions, including one to 8th grader Ashley Howell.
Whether we believe in the war or not, we should support our troops. They are making the ultimate sacrifice for us.
The words and thoughts of these kids helped a grieving mother move on.
It absolutely helps, simply because I am able to see that these kids care.
We should be very thankful that we have courageous men and women like Sergeant David M. Fisher.
Ken Screven, CBS 6 News, Ward of Elite.
We're going to go back to Steve now for more on that tornado warning south of the Capital Region.
All right, thanks a lot, Liz. We continue to track it. Tornado warning in effect for Ulster County. This is until 6:45. You're looking at live instant Doppler 6 right there, which shows the greater picture. Severe squall line moving into portions of western New England. Mike Augustinek's going to talk about that in the next couple of minutes. More specifically, I'm looking at the severe threat that's across portions of eastern Ulster County right now. In the vicinity of Kingston, we think. Unfortunately, this particular area, it's difficult for the NexRad Doppler weather radars to see. We're using the Binghamton radar right now. The Long Island radar is having a hard time seeing it, and the Albany radar is being affected by the severe weather that's moving through the Capital Region. So this is a signature that's difficult for us to see on radar, but we are picking up at least some hints still, especially in this purple area here from, well, northeast of Whiteport into the Kingston area and moving up towards Lake Katrine. The storm's moving extremely rapidly at about 50 to at times 60 miles an hour. The individual cell is moving towards the east-northeast. In fact, Rhinebeck may get on some very torrential rains coming up very, very shortly. We have even, in fact, had some reports of a little bit of hail down into portions of these areas. So we'll get a new storm track on this for you and show you where at least the strongest part of the storm appears to be and how it appears to be tracking, and again, moving very, very quickly at about 50 or so miles per hour. Again, scraping by Rhinebeck now, 6:24, very shortly. Lake Katrine at 6:25, the Red Hook area at 6:30, Clermont at 6:37, Germantown, that's Columbia County, at 6:38, Livingston at 6:43, and the Taconic area at 6:47. Again, a Doppler indicated circulation would suggest the possibility of a tornado. There have been reports of tornadoes in portions of Pennsylvania with this weather system today. The air very warm and unstable in this area, so there is a fairly high probability, even if there is not a tornado, there's going to be very strong straight line damaging winds. We've been talking about the possibility of 60 to 80 mile an hour winds, and this line segment certainly could do that as it affects now portions of northwest Dutchess, portions of southwestern Columbia, and maybe even clipping portions of southeastern Greene County. So if you're anywhere basically in this hot zone here, which would include Woodstock, although I think Woodstock is on the eastern side and probably safe, but up towards Saugerties, Germantown, maybe Ancrum, certainly Kingston, and the Rhinebeck area, anywhere in here, definitely you want to hunker down at least for the next 15 to 20 minutes and let this whole storm system move on by. Mike Augustinek's looking at live instant Doppler 6 with more on the northern extent of this severe squall line. Mike.
Okay, Steve, thank you very much. We do have that northern extent now pushing through southern portions of Vermont. So
Now clearing through most of Bennington County in Vermont, at least the heaviest rain and the strongest winds, but still a little bit down here in southern Bennington County, south of Bennington itself, headed right along the Bennington-Berkshire County line, off to the east and northeast very quickly. So again, this part of the line too has had a history of producing wind gusts in excess of 60 miles an hour, and at least the potential for some wind damage as that comes on through. And we're also looking into extreme western portions of Massachusetts, from Adams to North Adams, right up here around Clarksburg, Mass. Some of the heaviest weather right now, again, moving quickly, and the potential with that as well for some damaging wind gusts. Pittsfield right now, likely a little bit breezy. Temperatures there in the 60s, and it's been the areas that have been warmest today in the 60s that we've seen the most widespread wind damage. So as this very strong part of the line pushes through extreme southern portions of Rensselaer County towards Pittsfield, look out. Okay, the next 20 minutes or so, you folks will likely see some of the heaviest weather on radar as well. Again, the potential for wind gusts 60 to 80 miles an hour, quite a bit of lightning, and certainly a period of some torrential rain, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes in duration. But wind that strong and rain that heavy, good enough to do damage in a real short period of time. Looks like the rest of the storm system extends off towards Columbia County now through central Columbia County around North Chatham. Again, this is also moving along the Berkshire spur of I-90 into the southern portion of Berkshire County, and will likely arrive there in the next 20 minutes or so. We're going to take a look a little further south, though, at that cell that has a tornado warning on it. We'll go over to Steve for that. He's got a look on Storm Alert, I believe. Steve?
All right, Mike, yes, let's go back to Storm Alert, and we'll show you that area right now. We're using our severe weather mode on Storm Alert, and we're showing areas of this pink and purple, which are suggesting the possibility at least of hail. There might be a little bit of that, but in this purple area, the potential for very, very strong winds. So again, targeting anywhere from Palinville to Germantown, maybe Ankrum on the far eastern side, at least for this specific cell. If you don't get it, Ankrum, from this cell, you'll get it as the whole line presses in from the north. But Kingston certainly seems to be the area under the gun right now, with the strongest part moving up in this direction. So certainly if you're in the Saugerties area, you definitely want to hunker down. Once again, we're going to go over our tornado safety rules, and this is for folks from Kingston north to especially Saugerties and in between. You want to be in the basement right now or on the lowest floor of the building that you're in an interior bathroom or closet that'll serve to give you the strongest shelter as the storm moves through. And again, this activity is moving through very, very quickly. It won't last more than maybe a couple of minutes at any one particular location. We're going to go back over to our weather scan system right now, and that does seem to show the rotational area quite clearly, and it does appear to be centered over the Kingston area. It looks like we may have another strong shear zone just north of Kingston, which is south of Lake Katrine, and we do have another tornado warning that's coming in live right now. As of 6:26, a tornado warning's been issued for northwestern Dutchess County until 7:30. So again, we continue to see the rotation. That storm now very close to the Dutchess County line. We've been talking about northwestern Dutchess County being affected by this. So getting up into the Red Hook area, certainly a possibility. We'll see this circulation center that Mike Augustinak has circled right over the Kingston area, heading up in a northeastward direction. So again, moving through portions of northwestern Dutchess County. So tornado warnings in effect for eastern and northeastern Ulster County, and now in effect for northwestern Dutchess County. The Dutchess County tornado warning in effect until 7:30, and we are looking at this storm continuing to move to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. Jackson Corners is certainly one of the communities in the path of, again, this Doppler indicated tornado. You're seeing the storm track there, northeast 48 to 50 miles an hour, 642 in the Elizaville area, 707 South Egremont, that's Berkshire County. We don't know if this circulation will continue up into the southern Berkshires, but given the amount of instability in this area and the climatological favorability for tornadoes in the lower and mid-Hudson valleys, it's certainly not out of the question. So even you folks up into southern Columbia and portions of southern Berkshire County, certainly over the next 30 to 45 minutes as this races off in your direction, you certainly need to be on guard. You certainly have more warning time than the folks down around Red Hook. But again, Red Hook seems to be in it. Can't exclude Saugerties. We certainly think there's a possibility that some of this could get up into the Saugerties area. Now we're looking at the tornado watch, which has been issued for the southern portion of the area. Tornado tornado watch for Ulster, Dutchess, and Litchfield counties. That appears to be the greatest threat for at least rotational thunderstorms. There is a severe thunderstorm watch further north that does include much of our area. Of course, the squall line, though, as we're going to show you on live instant Doppler 6, has moved east of the capital region. So the severe weather threat locally has come to an end despite that little line that's coming down the Mohawk Valley. That's not severe, but the worst of the weather certainly now southern Bennington County into northwest Berkshire, southeastern Rensselaer. It's bisecting Columbia County on the diagonal, and then again that potential tornadic storm which continues off to the south. So here it is on storm alert. We'll get rid of that for you, and we'll run at least a track on the reflectivity so you can get a clue as to how this again is moving. And it's this core here that is rapidly racing off to the north and east into northwest Dutchess County right now. We talked about Ankrum. We'll talk about Copake because this does appear to be heading up in your direction. So tornado warning in effect, especially for northwest Dutchess County. This is what you folks in the, well, anywhere from the Rhinebeck up to the Ankrum and Copake area want to be doing, heading for immediate shelter, and that would be in the basement. If you don't have a basement, you want to take cover in an interior bathroom or closet on the lowest floor away from windows. Again, to reiterate, that's a tornado warning for Dutchess County, and that is in effect until about 6:45. Want to go back to weather scan graphics again. Mike Augustinak indicating that the signature looks very good here, and in fact it does. We're indicating a fairly strong shear zone, and that's depicted by the differing colors that are currently on the map right now, especially over the Kingston area. And that again is showing the potential right in here where we're seeing the strongest circulation. It's very, very small, and again, it continues to track off in a northeastward direction like this. So the storm track, again, takes it up in this direction at Red Hook, and then up into portions of southeastern Columbia County like this. No tornado warning for Columbia County at this time, but the storm is moving so rapidly at about 50 miles per hour, it will take almost no time to get that up in there. Mike Augustinak now running this storm track from Kingston up into southeastern Columbia County. We're targeting Red Hook very, very shortly, within the next 10 minutes or so at 6:40. Elizaville at 6:47. Again, there's South Egremont at 7:13. That's in the Berkshires. Lee at 7:30 should this storm system go through. Mike, do you have something? We're going to take Mike Augustinak over in the Weather Center right now with some new information. Mike?
All right, Steve, severe thunderstorm warning out now for Rensselaer County and for northern Berkshire County until 7:30 p.m. And we also want to mention a severe thunderstorm warning continuing for Bennington County until 7:15. But at this point, it does look like much of the heavy weather is out of that area. In fact, let's go over to Storm Alert. We'll show you what's going on right now. And this is live instant Doppler 6 first for the wide view. And you can see that much of the heavy weather is pushed off now to the east and southeast of Albany. Here's a storm alert, and we'll zoom in on this area that the National Weather Service has just put a severe thunderstorm warning on. Again, coming out of extreme southeastern portions of Rensselaer County, headed towards Adams and North Adams, it looks like, in about the next 10 minutes at most. In fact, this is kind of moving a little more off to the east than what we've been seeing a lot of these storms do, as opposed to northeast through the day today. Let me put a storm track on this for you. Again, we'll watch for the potential with this for some damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles an hour as it comes through northern Berkshire County and exits southern Rensselaer County. So North Adams getting hit in about the next 3 minutes or so. Lanesboro, Mass at 6:37, Adams at 6:38. Pittsfield 6:39, and then it'll move into the Hinsdale and Beckett areas of central and southern Berkshire County between 6:45 and 6:50. Again, Bennington County a little further north, still showing the indication here that we do have some strong thunderstorms right along the Bennington-Berkshire County line, just south of Bennington. Luckily, this part of the state not inhabited all that much, but it looks like Wilmington and Stamford under the gun for some strong wind gusts and the potential for damage in about the next 5 minutes or so.